Hey, everybody. Follow up to my post yesterday on judgment in faith. And it's a very, very important thing to me because lack of judgment literally saved my spiritual life. I'll get to that in a second. There were a couple comments about things the Bible says. Somebody pointed out about fornication, about this, about gay sex, about whatever. Do you realize there were not 10 commandments? There were over 600 commandments. And it was virtually impossible for anyone to live their life according to all those 619 commandments. Thus, why we needed Jesus to come and save us. Ephesians chapter 2 talks about we are saved by God's grace, not by any of our works so that we can boast. And my point about people that leave those comments about, oh my gosh, Clark, you're living in sin by living with your girlfriend. So you're boasting. So you're boasting about how you're saved by your works because you're such a perfect Christian. And I'm not a perfect Christian. Ephesians chapter 2. We're saved by grace, God's grace, not by anything we've done or any work we've done. It was impossible to live our lives without sin. 619 commandments. You could not do it. No one could do it. Now, this is extremely important to me. How lack of judgment allowed my faith to bloom. At age 12, after having been molested and raped for years, I put a dividing wall between me and God. I was taught back then, God is a sovereign God. You do good things will happen to you. You do bad, you step out of line. Bad things could incur because you incurred God's wrath. How could I possibly incur God's wrath at age 8, 9, 10, 11, 12? No one taught me in the spiritual world about God's free will. No one. So I go through life with this dividing wall between myself and faith and spirituality and God. I get arrested. I try to pray when I'm locked up, and I cannot pray. Anytime I close my eyes, I see violent images. I see sexual images. I see Jesus naked on the cross, and I'm just like, I have to shake my head and get the sight and the thought out of there of being raped at 12, the sight of the murder. And I literally cannot pray. And yet I sign up for Bible study. And as there's a delay because they have to approve you. So it took a couple weeks. And in that 2-week span, I'm just like, if this guy teaching Bible study is one of these self-righteous, wag your finger, judgmental people who's going to tell me I'm such a bad sinner, I'm going to tell the guards, get me out of here. This was a big mistake. So I go down the night for Bible study. And two elevators converge, we get off, and I work my way to the back of the area, and everybody goes up in front of me, and I'm watching this guy, Brother Bob Meeker, shake hands, hug guys, got a big smile, and in my mind, I'm like, you phony baloney. I see right through you, and I'm getting myself ready for a fight. I'm the last one to go up to him, and he puts me in a hug, and he whispers in my ear, I've been praying for you. My congregation's been praying for you. I love you. And I pull away from him. I go, you know who I am? You know why I'm here? And he goes, I read the papers. I know why you're here. And I'm like, wow, thanks. And we go in to sit down for Bible study. And Brother Bob doesn't know how the balancing act of my faith, it could teeter-totter one way or the other, and he could totally put my faith out and douse it with water, or he could light a match to it and get it ignited. He doesn't know that. But we go into Bible study that night, and he immediately starts talking about God's free will. How we are not puppets on a string. How God does not interject in every misdeed in every person's life, because we would then be nothing but puppets on a string. And people leave comments on, like, specifically Soft White Underbelly, the podcast I did, and they hear my story and they leave a comment. This just confirms that there is no God, that this was allowed to happen. My response is, there is a God. We have free will. You can use your free will for good or for evil. The person next to you can use their free will for good or for evil. And you could intersect with each other's lives and be at a vulnerable point, and something horrific could happen to you, as it happened to me. It does not mean there is not a God. It means we have free will so that we can live and experience life and not just be a puppet. And when I heard that night, it instantly, boom, I went back to my cell that night and I tried to pray, and I could instantly pray. Brother Bob removed, smashed it with a sledgehammer, that dividing wall between me and faith. And from that point forward, my faith blossomed. I could feel it inside again. I could hear words spoken to me from a higher power within. And I want to do what Brother Bob did for me. I want to do for others. I'm not here to sit in judgment on anyone. I am the last person that should sit in judgment, and every one of you should be the last people to sit in judgment. I want to help someone else start to remove some of their sin and elevate themselves a little higher. We are all sinners. It's plain and simple. So these people that leave their messages of moral superiority, I just want to slap them. You are no better than anyone. You cannot abide by all the laws. It's impossible. You are a sinner as well. Oh, but my sin's only this. Your sin's that. Get out of here. There's when I get up to heaven, and yes, that's where I'm going. They're gonna if I'm at the gates and the gatekeeper, he's gonna take out a laundry list of my life and be like, "Huh, I see. Oh, interesting. Wow. Well, look at that. Huh. It's gonna look like Santa Claus's gift list around the world, all the misdeeds I've done." And you think for a second that they're gonna be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, Clark. We can't let you in. You lived with your girlfriend that you were in love with and you weren't married." You really think that's how it is? You really think that that's faith? Really? Yeah, you think that's what's going to happen, do you? All right, go back to the rock you just crawled out from under. If that's what you think, I can't help you, So, how about try to do good works and help your fellow neighbor? Help them to elevate themselves to a higher level. Not looking down at them in judgment. We should all be trying to lift each other up. That's what I'm trying to do. Okay? Thank you, everybody. God bless you all. Peace.